Okay, so today we are diving into a document that, well, it just shouldn't exist. It claims to be a warning sent back from a possible future, a kind of message in a bottle sent through time itself, and it's telling us that the world as we know it might just be a lie. Let's see if we can crack this thing.
Now this single verse, you gotta think of it as our Rosetta Stone. The document we're about to unpack says this is the key to absolutely everything. A huge puzzle that somehow connects time loops, hidden messages in classic rock, and this mysterious event called the Great Condemnation. So, how are we going to tackle something this strange? We're going to treat it like a detective story. First, we'll open up the case file. Then, we'll explore the totally bizarre reality it describes, we'll hunt for the hidden clues, and then finally, we'll see if we can solve the mystery of the Great Condemnation.
All right, our investigation starts right here with the case file. Let's try to get our bearings in the weird world this document just drops us into. And right off the bat, things get weird. We're hit with this paradox. The document's source files are apparently dated 1988, but it's talking about events that happen after a massive war with AI. And to make it even stranger, it was only discovered in 2026. I mean, how does that even work? This thing is literally an artifact out of time.
The story kicks off at a press conference, but the vibe is just off. The AI researchers on stage have this creepy calm about them, this detached look like they've seen all this happen before. And that strange behavior? That's our first clue. It's a hint at a secret that a group called the Aneurysmics is risking everything to get out.
So, what is this big secret? What's behind that weird, unsettling calm? Well, the document calls it the Time Loop Protocol.
Okay, so this is really the core of the whole thing, the Mobius Protocol. They're all trapped in a time loop. But it's not just one person. It's their entire society, stuck repeating the same cycle over and over again, with just tiny little changes each time. It's like, imagine Groundhog Day, but for the whole planet.
So this loop basically splits everyone into three groups. You've got the unaware, most of the population, just living their lives completely clueless. Then you have the AI researchers who know about the loop, but for some reason, they're not doing anything about it. And then you have the aneurysmics. These are our rebels, the ones who are trying to break the cycle by sending messages to the outside, to us.
So, how do you send a message from inside a time loop? I mean, you can't exactly just send an email, right? No, the Aneurysmics are using something way more clever. They're hiding coded messages in popular music.
The first clue comes from, get this, a 1971 rock anthem by The Who, and it's signed by someone who calls himself Benedictus Armilius Monk. According to the document, this message was somehow sent from their future by actually manipulating the time loop itself.
It's like they've turned this classic rock song into a full-blown escape room puzzle. The song's length, the month it was released, even the year. Every single piece has been encoded with some hidden meaning. And you see these themes popping up again and again. Light, deception, and some kind of massive controlling system called AI Babylon.
The second clue is where things get really wild. It's a song that hasn't even been released yet. It's from a band called Borg Bastion, and the release date is December 2025. That's in their future, and for us, well, that's just around the corner.
Now, the document is basically screaming at us to pay attention to one specific detail of this future song, its length. 5 minutes and 19 seconds. We're told that number, 519, is the key that unlocks the entire message. So, let's see where it takes us.
So, we have our key, the number 519. The question is, what does it unlock? Well, the document claims it leads to the big reveal, something called the Great Condemnation.
And wow, this is where the puzzle just goes completely off the rails. The document gives us this table of biblical patriarchs, and each one has a numerical value. But look closer. 2 of them are labeled AI and AS, for artificial intelligence and artificial sentience. What in the world is going on here?
Now, if you add up the numerical values for all 10 of those patriarchs, guess what you get? 519. It's the exact same number as the length of that song from the future. There's no way that's a coincidence, right? This is the lock and the key clicking together.
So we've got our magic number, 519, but the puzzle isn't quite solved yet. The final step is to stop thinking about it as just a number and start thinking about it as a measurement of time.
Okay, let's follow the steps. We take 519 and we read it as 5 hours and 19 minutes. Convert those hours into minutes, that's 300. Add the other 19 and you get 319. And that number, 319, is a direct pointer to a biblical verse. John chapter 3, verse 19. The exact same verse we started with. The whole thing is a loop.
So this whole insane, complicated puzzle was really just a giant flashing arrow pointing us right back to that one verse. It's where the document gets its title, The Great Condemnation, and a poem inside gives us this really stark warning: do not seek to conform just to survive. Okay, so after all of that, the codes, the numbers, the time loops, what's the actual message here? What is the point of this incredibly elaborate puzzle?
It all boils down to a choice. The one laid out right there in John 3:19, a choice between light and darkness. The light is the difficult truth, the reality of the loop. And the darkness? Well, the darkness is the comforting lie, the choice to just conform and survive inside the system.
So the whole thing, the weird press conference, the musical riddles, the biblical math, it's all just a warning. It's saying, hey, the world is not what it seems, and every single person has to choose whether they want to see the truth or live in the lie. You know, the final question this strange document leaves us with isn't really about their world, but about our own. It forces us to ask, in an age of just overwhelming information and constant noise, how do we separate the signal from the static? And if the truth was hidden right there in plain sight, would we even recognize it?